You got to pay it forward to move forward. In 2 Corinthians chapter 8, starting in verse 8, it says, I'm not commanding you, but I want you to test the sincerity of your love by comparing it with the earnestness of others. For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sake became poor, so that you, through his poverty, might become rich. I love this passage because Paul is speaking to the Corinthian Church about the richness of Jesus Christ and how Jesus gave up his richness so that way he may become poor, so that we may become rich. Rich in the Greek language is plusias. And this is what it means. Wealthy, abounding in material resources, abounding, abundantly supplied. He formerly abounded in the richness of a heaven condition. By assuming human nature, he entered into a state of earthly poverty. If you really think about it, Jesus Christ came from heaven. He had the whole world in his hands. And not even just the whole world, but he also had heaven in his hands, the richness. Filled with grace, the virtues, the love, the faith, the hope, his kingship, his throne, his reign, his power. Jesus was rich, and he gave that all up to become poor in the carnal, in the earthly possession, so that you may have salvation, so that way you may be rich, filled in his love, hope, and grace. And I love this passage here because Paul is speaking to the church in Corinth. And he was telling them that, hey, I'm not commanding you, but I'm testing the sincerity of your love. And he compares them with the church in Macedonia. See, Macedonia was the northern part of Greece, and the southern part was called Achaia. And the city of Corinth was in the region of Achaia. Paul writes about the example he sees in the churches in Macedonia. But he's saying, hey, if these guys can do it, you guys can do it. And by the way, I'm calling you guys to your original vows, your original convictions that you guys eagerly began with. And now I'm calling you guys to finish the work. I'm testing the sincerity of your hearts. Although in your extreme poverty, can you still give what you say you were going to give? And it's very tough. Jesus Christ also had a vow. He gave up his richness so that way he may become poor, so that way we may become rich in his salvation. So the whole Bible exemplifies a promise of eternity, a promise that's rich. And Jesus fulfilled that even when it hurt. Jesus' love was unconditional. It was endless. Jesus' love was powerful. He paid it forward to move forward. And that's a challenge. How is your paying it forward? And the call is the same thing, but the call is a little more deeper. Pay it forward to your neighbor. Give up what you're used to receiving and give it up without receiving anything back. And then I want to take it a little further. Pay it forward for Jesus Christ. What are some things that you need to give up so that way you may be poor and you may see God rich in your life? And have a plan. Jesus had a plan. He understood the vision. The vision was so that way, although he'll give up everything, he was still going to resurrect. He believed in the promise. Have a plan. When you give up something, whether it's to your neighbor, to God, have a plan. What is the outcome of that? But so that way you may be in touch of Jesus' salvation. That's my challenge to you guys. Pay it forward to move forward. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. I'm praying for you guys. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Thank you.